All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to tackle a problem that every single app developer runs into. You know the one. How do you share data, like say a user's login status, across all the different screens in your app without turning your code into a complete spaghetti mess?
So here's the plan. We'll kick things off by really digging into the problem. Then we'll meet the solution, the Context API. After that, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to build your global box for data and then how to pull that data out from anywhere you need it. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a quick recap.
All right, let's get right into it because, to really get why the solution is so great, you've got to feel the pain of the problem first. This is a challenge that hits pretty much every developer once their app gets even a little bit complex.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You've got your app going, you've built this awesome home screen, you've got a separate profile screen, but wait, how does that profile screen know who the user is? How does it get the username that was entered on a completely different screen? That's the question. And this is where things get ugly fast. The old school way is something called prop drilling. You literally pass the data from parent to child to grandchild to great-grandchild and on and on. It's a total nightmare to keep track of, it's super easy to break, and honestly, it just feels wrong. There has to be a better way, right?
Well, thankfully, there is. What if I told you there's a solution for this baked right into React? No extra libraries, no complicated setup. Let's talk about our hero for today, the Context API.
So what is it? The best way to think about the Context API is like this. Imagine you have a global, shared data box for your entire app. Instead of passing data down a long chain of components, you just put your important info, like the user's name, into this box. Then any component, no matter where it is, can just reach directly into that box and grab the data it needs. No middleman. It's that simple.
Okay, that sounds great in theory, but how do we actually build this thing? Let's get our hands dirty and create one of these global boxes right now. We'll use it to store our users' information.
It's actually just a three-step process, and we can do it all in one file to keep things nice and tidy. Step 1, we'll create the empty context, the box itself. Step 2, we'll create a special component called a provider. This is the thing that will hold and provide our data. And Step 3, we'll actually put our data into that provider. All right, here's what that looks like in code. This is our user context.js file. Don't worry if it looks like a lot at first. It's actually pretty straightforward. See up top? We're just pulling in create context and use state from React, tools we need for the job. The real meat of it is this user provider function. Inside, we're using a plain old useState hook to hold our user object, in this case, Abhishek from Bangalore. Then, the magic happens. We return this special component, userContext.provider, and we pass our user data into its value prop. This is key. Anything that lives inside this provider component can now access that value.
Let's zoom in on that very first line. Export const user context equals create context. This right here, this is the magic wand. That create context function is literally what conjures our shared data box into existence. Right now, it's just an empty box, waiting for us to put something in it.
And that user provider component we made, that's our gatekeeper. It's the component that's in charge of the data. It holds the user state, and its entire job is to provide that state to any child component that needs it. It's the source of truth for our user data.
So, we've built the box and we've put the data in it. Awesome. Now for the fun part. Let's actually connect our app to this system and see how our screens can start using this global data.
The whole secret here comes down to one simple idea: wrapping. We need to take our user provider and wrap it around our entire application. Think of it like a big blanket. By wrapping it around our navigation, we're making sure that every single screen, home screen, profile screen, all of them, are under the blanket. That means they all have access to the data that the provider is, well, providing.
And here's what that looks like in practice, inside our app.js file. It's so simple, it's beautiful. We just import our user provider that we just made, and then you see it right there. We literally wrap our navigation container with it. That's it. That one change at the top level of our app is what unlocks this global data for every single screen. Super clean.
And now, the payoff. This is why we did all that work. Any screen, like our profile screen, can now directly access the user's data. And the best part? No more passing props. We've completely eliminated prop drilling for this piece of data.
Okay, so let's look at the code for, say, profilescreen.js. We import a new hook called useContext from React, and we also import the user context we created earlier.
Now look closely at the function definition for profile screen. See what's missing? Props. There are no props being passed in. This component doesn't need to be spoon-fed the data anymore. It can get it itself.
And how does it get the data? With this one little line of code right here. Const user equals context user context. This is the other side of the magic. The use context hook is how you read from the box. You just tell it which context you're interested in our case, user context, and boom, it reaches up through the component tree, finds the nearest provider, and grabs the value for you. It's so direct and powerful.
And it gets even better. This whole system is reactive. That means if the user's data changes anywhere in the app, let's say they update their name on a setting screen, this profile screen will automatically re-render with the new information. You change the data in one place, and every component that uses it updates instantly. No extra work needed.
Whew. Okay, we've gone through a lot there pretty fast. So let's just take a second to recap the key takeaways, just to lock it all in.
So remember these key players. First, you have the context itself. That's what you create with create context. Then you have the user provider, the component that holds the state and wraps your app. Your app.js is where you actually do that wrapping. Your app navigator just handles the screens like usual. And finally, you have the use context hook, which is how any screen can reach in and grab that shared data. That's the whole shebang right there.
So now your app's data is global, it's clean, and it's easy to manage. The question is, what are you going to build with this? This is perfect for things like user authentication status, theme settings like dark mode or light mode, or even the contents of a shopping cart. Just a quick heads up though. Context is amazing for data that doesn't change a million times a second. For really high-frequency updates, you might want to reach for a different tool. But for most of your global data needs, the Context API is your best friend, built right into React.